So you had a topic to talk about.
I do have a fun one. I got a fun article. Give me about 1 second to pull it back up.
I'll give you 3 seconds. Take your time.
I appreciate your generosity.
You're most welcome.
That's why I hang out with you, Alan. You are just a
Is it?
you're a very kind host.
Yes, I am. Very, very good. Is this going to? That's.
All right,
Oh, yes, it is.
this is from AP News. You got it? You can see it? Good.
People often miscalculate climate choices. One surprise is owning a dog.
This is going to get fun.
Go ahead.
This is from somebody named of Callie Wells, dated August 13th, so just a few days ago. It turns out that many Americans aren't great at identifying which personal decisions contribute most to climate change. Personally,
Hold on 1 second. I almost agree with some of that. They're not great at identifying which factors contribute most to climate change, not personal decisions. But go ahead.
well, this is about their personal decisions.
Okay.
A study recently published by the National Academy of Sciences found that when asked to rank actions such as swapping a car that uses gasoline for an electric one, carpooling, or reducing food waste, participants were very accurate when assessing how much these actions contributed to fake climate change. The fake was me.
Mm-hmm.
Which is caused mostly by the release of greenhouse gases that happen when fuels like gasoline, oil, and coal are burned. All right. So we know what we're
By
dealing.
by the way, I will just say that is absolutely wrong. But keep going.
Yeah, the entire thesis is fundamentally flawed.
Who is this again?
Associated Press. This is someone by the name of Callie Wells.
Uh,
People overassign impact to actually pretty low impact actions such as recycling and underestimate the actual carbon impact of behaviors much more carbon intensive, like flying or, God forbid, eating meat, said Madalena Vlaskino, report co-author and professor of environmental social sciences at Stanford University.
uh,
Remember what I said that these muckety mucks that run all the institutions determine, these robber barons that run, did they
yeah.
determine the funding of the colleges? That's what you're dealing with.
How sad.
The top three individual actions that help the climate, and that's why you get this stuff, this woke crap coming out of college. This is where it comes from. It's top down. Tavistock Institute, people have been talking about it for years. I'll be doing videos on that soon,
Uh,
including avoiding plane fights, choosing not to get a dog, and using recyclable electricity were also three that the participants underestimated. So, Alan, do you have a dog?
no, I've had them in the past, and I'm basically an animal person. I like dogs. I like cats. I like horses. I like goats. I like them all.
Yeah, well, I'm also a climate villain because I've had dogs my entire life, apparently. And I've made that choice because I don't
Does
care about
she get into why a dog's bad?
Oh, we're going to get there.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
good, good, good.
Meanwhile, the lowest impact actions were changing to more efficient appliances and swapping out light bulbs, recycling and using less energy and washing clothes. These were three of the top four overestimated actions. So all those little virtue signals don't work, she says.
Okay,
All right. This is worth reading the whole thing. So
okay.
Vlaskino, I think I'm saying that right,
Yeah.
said marketing focuses more on recycling and using energy efficient light bulbs than on why flights or dog adoption are relatively bad for the climate. So participants were more likely to give those actions more weight because they market light bulbs more and don't tell you how bad it is to have a dog. That's why everyone gets it wrong. That's what she's
Oh
saying.
gosh.
It's the worst article I've read all year, so let's keep going.
Keep going.
How the human brain is wired also plays a role. Well, you can see the bottle being recycled, that's visible. Whereas carbon emissions, that's invisible to the human eye. It's also invisible if you listen to Alan and I to the actual environment, but that's a moot
Yeah.
point. So that's why we don't associate emissions with flying, said Ji Ying Zhao, who teaches
Zhao.
who teaches psychology and sustainability at the University of British Columbia. Psychology and sustainability. two disciplines that probably shouldn't overlap very much, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely.
But it's a psyop, so they do overlap. That's how you know it's a psyop. And that sentence right there should just hammer that point home, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Zal added, it's easier to bring actions to mind that we do more often. Recycling is an almost daily action, whereas flying is less frequent, it's less discussed. And as a result, people give a higher psychological weight to recycling. All right, let's take a side note and talk about how bad recycling actually is. It's a
Okay.
good idea on paper, but recycling in America in practice means all this plastics that we spend incredible amount of money putting in a separate bin that a separate truck comes and collects, by the way, emitting carbon emissions every day that it drives
Hmm.
around. Yeah. Your plastic isn't recycled in America. It's almost impossible to do. What they do is they ship it over to Asia, places like
Like
uh,
China.
China and others, like Indonesia. And they don't have environmental restrictions and they recycle it using a ton of pollution that goes into the air. And a lot of those plastics get dumped in the ocean. And that's why we have microplastics all over the ocean. So, all of you recycling assholes, stop doing it. Plastic recycling doesn't work. There are a few things in America that can actually be recycled that make sense, but plastics aren't one of them. Yeah, we've created a multi-billion-dollar industry just shipping the stuff over there so they can pollute the oceans and make the world a less clean place. Off my bandwagon. Off my.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, can you tell how I feel about plastics?
You're playing it easy, but I'll think about it.
All right. Try not to come on too strong here, Alan.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
Of course, there's also a lot of misleading information, go figure. For example, some companies tout the recycling they do while not telling the public about pollution that comes from their overall operations. I just said that.
Yes.
There has been a lot of deliberate confusion out there to support policies that are really out of date, said Brenda Eckwurzel, a climate scientist with the Union of Concerned Scientists, a nonprofit. I'm sure if we Googled them, we would find a brain trust that would blow us both away. Let's do that sometime.
Union of, what is it? Union of Concerned
Concerned.
Scientists.
I'm sure there's nothing woke that comes out of there. Go ahead and pull it up and see if we can find it if we have a few minutes to kill. And here comes the good part. Why dogs have a big climate impact. Well, dogs are big meat eaters, and meat is a significant contributor to climate change. That's because many of the farm animals, which will become food, release methane, a greenhouse gas that contributes to climate change. Beef is especially impactful in part because around the world cattle are often raised on land that was illegally deforested. Since trees absorb carbon dioxide, the most abundant greenhouse gas, cutting them to then raise cattle is a double whammy.
Can I respond?
I was just going to wait. Alan, would you please just destroy that paragraph?
Well, I don't want to destroy it. I want to leave it there. I want to contribute to it. Okay. Meat is a significant contributor to climate change because of the farm animals. And we're, of course, talking about methane, right? Well, notice in this article how much methane's in our atmosphere is not discussed. So I'm good. Brady, you sitting down? You holding on?
I am sitting.
Okay. According to the most recent things I looked at, methane is measured in parts per million, and it's less than 2 parts per million. Which, if it's 2 parts per million, the percent of our atmosphere that is methane is 0.0002. That's 2/10,000 of 1%. Can you explain to me why that is such a massive effect?
I was told there'd be no math on this test, but since you did
No,
ask,
this is arithmetic. This is arithmetic.
that's a lot of zeros.
Yes. So next, we get to, of course, CO2. It's a greenhouse gas. We're probably happy that we have greenhouse gases because if we didn't, we'd be Mars. So be happy. How much CO2 is in the atmosphere? Do you know?
I do.
Okay. Tell me.
Well, I think it's 0.0004. Did I get that right?
Well, No, it's 0.04, 0.04%, 425 parts per million, so round off. What they don't tell you in this, which to me adds tremendous context, and I'm using round numbers. Nitrogen is 78%, oxygen is 21%, and argon, yes, argon is 0.93. So 99.93%, that's almost 100, is those three gases. That leaves 0.07%. And you're telling me our climate is totally pivotal on that de minimis amount? No. What comes first, heat or CO2? It's heat. And why do we have heat? Mama Earth has been in an interglacial warming time period for over 12,000 years. None of this is talked about. So, and if you want to talk about, this is really good, deforestation. I brought this up in a WAC news a few weeks ago or so. They're going to have this big climate thing in Brazil. It's not going to be at one of the big cities. It's going to be out kind of in the country. To make it easy for everyone to get there, they're going to build a new road, 2 lane each way, and it's going to take out 10,000 acres of Amazon. So they can build a new road, so they can go to this town and complain about climate change. Way back in the day, before all this development took place in the Amazon, I think there's 7 countries that border the Amazon. The Amazon was known as the lungs of the earth. One of the biggest deforestations have taken place not in the US, but in the Amazon. Why aren't these people? Oh, and the other area that did a lot, because we need more wind turbines. I read an article in Scotland. It is said in this article they cut down 2 million trees to have room to build wind turbines. How much CO2 is not being absorbed because the trees are gone? How many homes for birds, squirrels, everything else is gone? And how many birds will die because they can't perceive the windmill turbine blades and they'll just get whacked? Yeah. Greenhouse gases, really a problem.
Yeah, how long have cows been around? Like more
Longer
than,
than us.
yeah.
Yeah.
And before we had cows, did we have bigger animals that farted a bit?
I'm going to get, I wasn't there, but I'm going to guess that dinos did toot. And can you imagine getting behind a brontosaurus with a match?
I'd imagine you could go pick up some of their leavings once they were hard enough to just put a match and you'd
No,
have
but
a long dark copper.
if you were behind a brontosaurus and you wanted to see, if you could light up their toot, oh my, that would be a flamethrower. So yeah.
People don't
Oh,
associate.
wait a minute. I forgot one thing.
Okay.
Sorry. Another aspect of methane in particular is how long does it stay in the atmosphere?
Oh,
Maybe
that's
up
right.
to
It's got a really short life, doesn't it?
12 years.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's not being talked about, and you all out there, go to the EPA website. Look up SF6, Sierra Fox 6. It's sulfur hexafluoride. It's a human-made gas. It's used in the electrical generation and transmission industries. It is a greenhouse gas. Again, it leaks into the atmosphere through manufacture, use, transportation. Brady, what do you think's a more powerful greenhouse gas, CO2 or SF6?
I'm just going to guess SF6.
Okay. And this is coming from more and more electrical power. If you have an equal amount of CO2 and SF6, how much more heat can SF6 hold back or can, be a greenhouse gas than CO2? What's the factor?
Tell us, Alan.
Go to the EPA website, look up SF6, sulfur hexafluoride, and you will find out it's somewhere in the ballpark of, remember, this is an equal amount of each gas. SF6 can contain more heat than CO2 by a factor of 23,500 times. And they want more of that because they want more electricity. How's that?
That's lovely. Let me finish up this article and jump to something else because you mentioned.
Keep going to the article.
Just going back to this article, it gets really fun.
Okay.
It says, why is it not showing? Oh, because I haven't refreshed the screen. There we go. It says, not all pets are the same. Zal owns a dog and 3 rabbits. I can adopt 100 bunnies that will not be close to the emissions of a dog because my dog is a carnivore. So trying to turn your dog into a vegetarian, people.
Oh, God.
The owner of a meat-eating pet can lower their impact by looking for food made from sources other than beef. She tries to minimize her dog's carbon footprint by these people are freaking insane, Alan. I'm not reading anymore. They get into air travel.
No, here, I'll read it.
Oh, God.
By feeding her less carbon-intensive protein sources, including seafood and turkey. Pollution from air travel. Scroll it down a bit.
Wait, so apparently turkeys don't have flatulence issues?
No, not at all.
And
Planes
yeah.
Planes emit a lot of carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxides, also greenhouse gases. Remember, they're not talking about how much greenhouse gas is in the atmosphere. Additionally, planes emit contrails, vapor trails that prevent planet-warming gases from escaping into space. A round-trip economy flight on a 737 from New York to Los Angeles produces more than 1,300 pounds of emission per passenger. Okay? Skipping that single flight saves about as much carbon as swearing off eating all types of meat a year or living without a car for more than 3 months. Okay, let's think about this. People are going to stop flying air because we have to protect.
Yeah, tell that to Al Gore and John Kerry as they fly their private jets around the world to these private climate conferences where they make up this bullshit.
How about every celeb that has one of these?
Yeah.
Speaking of Al Gore, you remember him?
Oh, yes.
Al, I think I invented the internet Gore. I think it was 2009, 2008, 2009. He was at a big international event, and he said within the next 5 to 7 years, that'd be 2014 to 2016, that there was a 75% chance that all the ice will be out of the Arctic in the summer. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay.
We're supposed to be dead by now, Alan, like 13 times over if we listen to
Did that happen? No.
What?
Did media cover the failed prediction? No.
I did actually die from Y2K and then twice from Biden's winter of love, whatever he called it.
Oh.
But I haven't died yet from climate change, unfortunately. But
now, in 2019, around 2019, a couple things happened. One, Glacier National, Montana?
Okay.
Yeah. At one overlooking the glacier, somewhere around 2010, there was a sign that said, by X date, the glacier will be gone. By 2020, the glacier's still there and the sign's gone.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay, 2 things happened in 2019. One it's not covered that much. In 2019, in the summer, remember the ice should have already been gone, according to Al Gore. In 2019, at the end of the summer season, a bunch of climate change warriors decided to take a boat. The Malmo. It was a Swedish ship out of Norway, and MS Malmo, and they were going into the Arctic to document the lack of ice at the end of the summer season in the Arctic. Okay,
Let me guess what
the
happened.
MS Malmo got stuck in the ice,
I knew that was going to happen.
and they had to be rescued by helicopter. Okay. But this also happened in 2019, and this to me is one of the more amazing stories I uncovered. There was a big hurricane that hit, I'll think of the island, not Wales. What else is there? Wales and I
Don't worry.
wasn't,
It's an island. Keep going.
yeah, it's near Britain, Scotland, and there is a seaside resort, and the hurricane, I believe Hannah, hit in 2019. Now, you would think that given sea levels are rising, it was Wales, that this seaside resort would be wiped out, right?
You would
Right?
think.
Yeah.
Think.
After the hurricane subsided and went away, the seaside resort was still there. But you know what wasn't there and isn't there? All the sand that the ocean took away from the beach because the sea levels didn't rise. They took away all this sand. And what did it uncover? It uncovered a buried forest of 5 different kinds of trees. It took maybe 4 or 5 feet of sand away. So you saw the tops of the trees. And they tested the trees, and those trees were approximately 4,500 to 6,000 years old, which meant 6,000 years ago, the ocean wasn't there, and those trees were not under sand. They were above ground. Gives you an idea of how long the sea levels have been rising, and it didn't happen.
Well, I know they've been rising for 11,600 years. That's documented really well. But
I thought it was 12,000, but okay.
it's 11.6. I'll double check it, but
Okay.
I think I got it right on this
Which is what we're basically talking about is the end of the last glacial period
exactly.
and the beginning of the current interglacial period.
Yeah. So what really to hammer that point home is we're not saying that sea level hasn't been rising because it has been for centuries, which was Alan just illustrated. What you need to be able to document is whether it's been rising faster since the Industrial Revolution, and the fact is it has not. But at the pace of the rise of sea level, and by the way, just like everything else in life in nature, everything is cyclical because sea level will go back down at some point in the future. We are into interglacial. We have seen sea ice rise and sea ice fall. These things are cyclical. This is not sign that environmental doom is coming and not upon us, which they are using as an excuse to give us one global government. That's kind of the moral here, the big point.
Do you know the stats on the end of the last glacial period?
Yeah, we've gone over this a few times. Go ahead and tell the audience.
Okay. Well, we're in the fifth of 5 known named ice ages, Quaternary. We've only been here 2.6 million years, and there has been in this time period approximately 30 glacial interglacial time frames. Glacial is the glaciers are advancing or holding steady. Interglacial, they are retreating. So the last glacial period is said to have begun approximately 110,000 years ago, ended approximately 12,000 years ago. So tell me, Brady, when the glacial period ended and the interglacial began, was that because everybody back then was driving their SUVs to their jobs at the coal-fired power plants, or
No,
something else going on?
they're eating too many cows, apparently.
Oh, okay. No, they were raising too many cows and not eating enough of them. Yeah. Well, this all has to do with what the sun's doing, what Mama Earth's tilt and wobble, but the sea levels are estimated to have been 400 feet lower than they are today. That's because so much of it was in ice. It's estimated that the ice on top of the Arctic, Canada, and that top of the world was 2 miles thick, and the ice on Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, was 1,000 feet thick. Do you really want to go back to a glacial time period? No. We like interglacial. We like warm. And tell me something, because Brady, you know I'm slow. Do we humans do better in warm environments where you can grow food, or freezing cold environments that are just covered with ice?
It's interesting you would ask that question, Alan, because history tells us that in the warmer periods of the last 5,000 years, humans have thrived when it's warmer and done
Mm-hmm.
very poorly, like the Dark Ages when it's cold. There was something called the medieval cooling period, and it was replaced by a warming period, which led to the Renaissance. We saw it is historically factual that we do good when it's warm and plants grow and we have plenty to eat. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just a strange coincidence.
The and some people have called it the little ice age, and I've seen days from 1600 or 1300 to 1850.
I
You know
think
what's significant about
it's accurate.
1850? Say what?
I think 1840 is pretty accurate. But go
I
ahead.
I heard 1850. But what's interesting is the beginning of the industrial age is credited at 1850, which is the end. And I don't like the term little ice age. It was a glacial phase in an overall interglacial time period. It was the end of hundreds of years of glacial temperatures. So what do you think the CO2 level was at 1850? It was down. And it got so cold from 1645 to 1715. It was called the Maunder minimum. Maunder was a British astronomer. He and his second wife were astronomers. It got so cold during this time period in London in the winter, the Thames River froze. That is cold.
So,
What do you
Alan,
th- what do you
why
think the CO2 level would be at the end of that phase? Go ahead.
pretty low? So
Yeah.
I'm just curious, why do you think so much money and government muscle is being put behind institutional muscle as well, from think tanks to the
Hmm.
colleges, everything like that? Why are they lying to us? Why are they putting so much effort into this? Is there any other reasonable conclusion that this is just a false flag so they can implement their one world government?
There's a lot of things going on. We want you to be afraid.
So you're
We
dependent
want
on so you're
we,
dependent on the
we
government.
we want you to listen to us because we care about you. We want to limit your access to power, electricity, coal, whatever. We want you to become more and more dependent on singularity. We want you to accept what we say, and then we're going to tell you central bank digital currency is the thing to have. And then all your monetary wealth will be totally under our control, which means you can be axed out at any time. This is about consolidating as many things. Oh, by the way, you're going to stop raising cattle. So your food sources are going to be dependent on
The
on
government.
on government or businesses that create food at a chemical factory.
And remind me, didn't Bill Gates try to create a chemical food factory as well?
Yes,
Same Bill Gates, whose father was on the board of Planned Parenthood,
yes,
which is known for being a big part of the eugenics movement, which is all
yes.
about population control, means depopulation. Same freaking people.
Which means if you can reduce the population significantly, you have fewer people to have to control.
Well, yes. And now that we have AI and robots, they don't need as many people.
We need even less.
Well,
The
I mean,
thing is, this is because of the narrative that is presented, which your article really showed, and I appreciate it. It shows a very, very small piece of information. It doesn't show the whole breadth of the topic. It lacks absolutely so much context. But when you bring all the context into the discussion, what they're saying is really important. Okay, why is 2/10,000ths of 1% of our atmosphere methane so important? And it only lasts 12 years. Oh, I forgot one other thing about SF6 when you look it up. Methane's good for maybe 12 years. CO2 in the hundreds up to 1,000 years. Okay. But remember, if you leave the trees and the plants alone, they'll inhale it. What is the again? This has been calculated, isn't known yet. What is the expected lifespan of SF6 in the atmosphere? You know, the one that's can retain heat 23,500 times more than CO2. What is it, Brady?
I think last time we talked, it was less than 2 years.
Mm. No,
It's short.
no, it's absolutely not source. Methane short.
Okay. Remind me.
CO2 is hundreds to 1,000, 1,000. SF6, which absolutely kicks CO2's khaki when it comes to retaining heat, it's estimated to be 3,000 years.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go more electrical.
It's too bad we don't have time to jump into the windmill article I had pulled up. Maybe when I'm on next time, we can really dive into how ridiculous wind energy is because it's more all part of the same shenanigans. Um,
Well,
but
it's
look,
really good and effective if you're trying to kill birds.
yeah, because
Yeah,
well, I'm sure birds create methane, so we may as well get rid of them too, right?
yeah. I mean, who wants birds?
That wasn't part of the original hypothesis, but they keep changing the storyline as it goes.
We have a little left. Please promote yourself. You got a lot to promote.
I don't have too much to promote. I've been putting out a lot of content. My main place you're going to find my stuff is on Rumble. Just go to War Space Hamster. I do a lot of work with our good friend Douglas V. Gibbs. Alan's on there occasionally as a guest host and my Federalist report show. I also do a lot of real fun stuff we call the Shadow State series, where we look at the origins of the CIA, Skull and Bones, and all kinds of those nefarious stuff. My main co-host there is Roxanne Colonel Towner Watkins. If you're on X or Twitter, you probably run into her. Um, and I'm doing a couple of radio shows. This week, I may be here on Patriot Soapbox because Doug is off with Virginia celebrating their honeymoon. And this Friday, their show at 5 p.m. Eastern, I have been asked to perhaps host. So you may see me here back on this channel 5 days from now.
You'll be back. Excellent.
And
I don't
I always try to join Alan about once a month on this show because we love For the Republic.
greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. FedEd, FEDED.us for basic monetary system education. Saturdays, of course, KMET 1490 AM, because M stands for America. That's Doug's show, 1 to 2 p.m. now. You can find it on the web. And very, very happy to still be here. Brady, thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate it.